Your dad's a vibe, right? You have like a dad that's a vibe.
I just met him.
Yeah, Russell
recently.
just met my dad.
It wasn't quite what I was expecting, but it was too. He does have a vibe for sure.
You know, when your friends meet your parents, they're never. You want to be like, hey, just so you know, this isn't the full thing. You don't understand. You're not seeing what I saw.
Yeah.
And that's what it felt like. Because Russell was like, you're being a little bit chilly. And I was like, okay.
Yeah. You haven't lived with us.
Yeah, I didn't. Yeah, that's fair. But it felt like he was trying, and you would shut him down. But he was half an hour late for.
He was half an hour late.
That's wild.
Uh-huh.
My mom was also half an hour late to pick me up for surgery once. So,
Oh my God.
Yeah.
but she had to go to Costco. So,
So my dad, he texted me, and to be clear, this has never happened before. He texted, he said, can you and your sister make some time today? I'd like to have a moment of silence for the victims of 9/11.
oh my God.
With him
on the phone.
Oh my God.
But
I'm sorry. I'm
but
sorry.
We've never
Commemorated? You've never come out as a
She said
family?
23rd anniversary. We better get on it. We better do 23 minutes of silence to make up for all the ones that we missed.
Oh my God.
And then he said,
does he have any deep ties?
his step grandfather lived here.
No, that's you can't just know someone who lives in New York.
No, I think it's like for sometimes it's like you feel sadness, you're depressed, and here's an event where we can all feel sad together. Let's use it
Sure.
as a vehicle for our own feelings.
Sure.
It's a tradition.
It will be now.
Yeah.
Did you guys make some time? Are you going to make some time?
So then he sent a second text, and it's to 10 numbers, 3 of which are family, the other 7 I don't know.
Oh no.
Yeah.
And he made a conference line with the dial-in number, so we can all dial in to have a moment of
What
silence
time?
for 9/11 at 12:30.
Wait, can we do it? Can we join?
We could join right at the tail end.
Right
of this,
at the end of this.
thing.
I think we're joining. I'm
my
putting.
God.
Will you add me? Wow. Add me to the link. Add me to the call.
Hey guys, just want to. Busy Phillips will be
Busy
joining
Phillips
us
will be
for
joining us for this moment of silence.
Wow, that's really something. That's really something. I gotta say, I know this is October, but this is actually technically September 11th right now.
Yeah, we have the calendar here to let people know the truth.
Okay, I need them to know the truth. But I thought it was interesting that all weekend, I didn't realize that they have the lights up all weekend for September 11th. And then yesterday or the day before, there were lots of fireworks on the, down near and I was just like, first of all, that seems very, I don't know what's going, I don't understand what's happening.
Well, Russell has a friend. It took him a long time before he'd be willing to share it on the podcast.
People online, it's a weird day, and I don't go on Facebook a lot anymore, but I go on at least once a year from this day, because it's mainly just people in Facebook being like telling where they were, but then no real connection to what happened.
Right.
It's just them saying like, this is where I was when I found out. And you're like, okay. And it's been over 20 years now of people doing that.
Right.
But anyways, there's this one person I know from growing up, and every year she posts this same story. She posts this story about finding out she was in her government class. Her government teacher got a phone call, and while this is all happening, they put together that his daughter works in the World Trade Center. And so she remembers it. She shares it every year. And every year I'm like, we don't get follow-up of what happened to this guy's daughter. Wait,
what? That's not a part of the story?
No, she just says that she remembers the guy getting the phone call and running out of the room, being really scared, and seeing an adult go through that, But she never gives the follow-up of and his daughter was okay or tragically blah, blah, blah. So every year it's like, what is this story that we want to know the end? And I don't know this person well enough to be like, hey.
Well, someone commented finally.
So finally, last year, someone was like, hey, whatever happened to that government teacher's daughter? And she wrote, because I was watching it all day. I was refreshing, is she going to respond to this? And then she wrote, actually, I don't know.
What?
What?
And every year, the story.
I got to tell you something. Doesn't ring true. Doesn't ring
true. She
true.
knows that the woman survived, because you would know.
You would know
if your government teacher lost.
Did you ever see the government teacher again?
Yeah.
Was he there the next day?
I don't know, but like also I just think the whole thing is maybe misremembered.
True. I mean,
Do you
yes,
know what I mean?
yeah.
Like maybe it wasn't. I don't know, because I just feel like that doesn't. If that I'm very far removed from high school at this point in my life. I would remember every detail of that and the follow up.
You would certainly remember if your teacher lost
Yes.
their daughter
Of
in
course.
9/11. It would be
100%.
all you talk about with people when things get dark.
I
You
remember
would, you would say
wait,
it.
no, I'm not even kidding. I remember hearing one of my favorite teachers' sons passed away after I graduated from high school, and I
100%.
still remember that.
100%.
And like, and think about like, you know
Was
what I
he
mean?
was in
Yeah.
one of the towers too?
No, it has nothing to do with 9/11.
This is the
Good joke,
downside.
Gianmarco.
1, 2, 3. Downside. You're listening to The Downside
The Downside.
with Gianmarco Soresi.
Welcome to The Downside. My name is Gianmarco Soresi. I'm here with my co-host Russell Daniels.
Hi.
And with a very special guest, Busy Phillips. Thank you for being
Hi.
here. We'll get to you in a sec. Something so degrading happened to me last night. I think one of the lowest stand-up points in my life.
Really?
And I've had a lot of them.
Wow.
Worse than the bachelor party and the
Yeah.
the
Oh,
roast.
yeah. Which one was that?
You had to do like a,
Oh,
a
yes.
steakhouse.
This is top 5. Middle of my set, City Winery, nice venue.
Sure, nice.
Yeah, great
nice.
Nice
venue.
venue. I was upstairs, smaller space. I see out of the corner of my eye, someone's bringing over a cake with candles.
No,
Middle of my set,
no.
the whole table sings the Happy Birthday
No.
song in full, and it was one of those moments where there's a part of me that said, leave, walk off the stage.
Just go.
There's you are in the right. And I've seen comics do it just a couple times, and I always go, "Oh, I don't know if I would have done that," but I go, they were in the right.
Yeah.
You can't sing "Happy Birthday" in the middle of the set.
Yeah.
And people started joining in. I started
No.
screaming. I said, "No!
This
Nobody
is not
joined.
your. This is
This
not
is
your
crazy.
birthday.
Nobody joined. This is crazy."
Yeah.
And then the venue said that they said, "Well, our staff wasn't singing." And it's like, "Well, you can't bring a cake
Why
with
did they
candles
bring
on
the
top
cake
to the
out?
thing."
Yeah.
Also, like, how long is your set? You know what I mean?
It's just 15 minutes.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just. How could it not have waited until the end of your set?
That's crazy.
That's it. That is actually unhinged.
And in your head, you just go like, "Yeah, put the mic down, leave." And
Yeah.
then you go, "Well, no one, everyone's gonna think I'm difficult. It's gonna ruin the show. There's other comedians on the lineup." So it was really, it did something to me though inside.
Yeah.
It just something about it felt like, fuck this shit.
Yeah. How big was the
shit.
lineup?
It was
How
like
many
5
comics?
comics, and it's like a good City Widers are like a little bit
Yeah.
elevated
Yeah.
shows. And it was a good crowd.
Yeah.
And they were with you, and then Happy Birthday happened. And then
they were
how'd you
with me.
recover?
I did the joke, so I know what I'm wishing for my birthday, for you to be dead.
Okay.
How old are you? How old are you? He said 45. I said, how's your cholesterol? Then I said, let's get this guy a steak.
My
I
God.
just said I want you to die.
Fun stuff.
I mean, to be fair though, like, is it on him or is it on the waiter?
It is crazy to them.
I just feel like it's the venue. Like, you can't
Yeah.
or the manager of the restaurant or whatever. Like, you're serving food quietly. Like, you're bringing in meat and cheese plate and some wine. All right.
Yeah.
They brought a cake with candles. That's insane.
That's
Yeah.
insane.
And and even if the patrons or like the guy's wife or the boyfriend, whatever, even if someone was like, "Hey, can we get that cake?" The waiter should have talked to the whatever. There should have been a thing that's like, you know what? We'll do it in between comics.
Yes. Yes.
yes.
You're
I
at a
agree.
comedy show.
It's crazy to go to a comedy show for your
But I
birthday
agree,
too.
you're
If
right.
you're expecting
Is
a
it?
birthday
Well, listen,
celebration. If you're expecting, but if you're not,
But
then it's a
also,
fun thing.
Maybe the cake was a surprise. Whatever. All I'm saying is that is a wild thing, and I'm not mad at the guy. I feel like
You're
you had
right.
misplaced
It's on
anger.
the staff. It's whoever decided to bring out the lit candles. People can't help themselves. They see
No.
lit
They
candles
have
on a
to. It's
birthday
We have
cake.
to.
You
We
gotta
have
sing
to.
it.
I
Pavlovian.
probably would have.
Yeah.
I actually am surprised you didn't start.
It's rude to. It's very rude.
That would have
to
been
not
now.
sing.
If I was less of a diva, I think I would have been like, I'm joining in.
You'd
That
have
was
taken
planned.
an opportunity to really show off your pipes. You know.
Also, though, aren't you kind of like known for like crowd work stuff?
So I post a decent enough
right? Because
amount.
people, that's what you got to do as a comedian now is post crowd work, right? Like if you have a
Yes.
podcast, you got to post like clips of this shit.
Yeah.
If you're a comedian, you got to post crowd work.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
That's how it all works. Okay, fine.
Yeah.
So, but I'm just saying, like, is there any world in which someone, and whether it's like the manager, the waiter, the person at the show, the girl, whatever, whoever's deciding this thing is like, oh my God, you know what we're going to do? Gianmarco, we're going to send the cake out during this, and there's going to be such good crowd work with you for your birthday.
Conspiracy.
You know what I mean?
When I make a clip of me telling this guy to kill himself 3 times, I hope that conversation changes immediately. Sure, maybe.
But you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That would be my curse if every show suddenly people do this to me. I've created my own prison.
I am
yeah.
looking up Where You Are Next.
Yeah.
And
It's available. Have you ever walked off mid anything?
no, I've never even left a workout class early.
Yeah.
Oh, I left
I
a
did
movie
once.
once.
Really?
Bad
Can you
or
say
just
what movie or
there's-
no?
It was terrible, and I don't remember what it was. I'm not even kidding. I'm not kidding. It was a bad movie, and I was like, "Life is too short. I gotta get out of here." I was at the
Yeah.
ArcLight and in Los Angeles, RIP.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And those tickets are not cheap. And I just like left and was like, "Can I get my money back? The movie sucks."
Yeah.
Did you get your money back?
Yeah, they gave me
There
like
is, that's the worst
a
feeling though,
coupon.
when you're like, you commit to going to see a movie and it's so bad that it's painful to
Yeah.
be there. Oof.
I think my friend and I thought we would be stoned and it would be like bad and funny, and it was
Yeah.
just like bad and bad. And I was like, we got to get out of here. You know what's interesting though? I just remembered, like a friend of mine had a weird situation where a guy like jacked off next to her in a movie, and the ArcLight also just gave her money back, like didn't do anything else. You know what I mean? I feel like I would have demanded more.
I would demand at least 3
Free-
tickets so the next
Yeah.
time you can have the 2 seats
That's
next
what
to
I'm
you
saying.
The
empty.
spectrum for
I need
hated
more.
the movie.
I need more. I need more.
Yeah, it should be a different outcome than the
Yeah.
I hated the movie.
Yeah.
Guy
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying like I just didn't like a movie and I got my money back. Like she literally was exposed to like a guy's dick
Yeah.
jacking off next to her, and like
Oh my
they just
God.
were like, "Here's your money
Yeah.
back."
They see
and
someone walking up and they're just handing
a free
money
ticket.
back
Yeah,
already.
I know. It
Yeah.
feels like she should have gotten more.
Yeah.
Well, it's too late now.
Police report. Jesus.
I know.
I've never been to the ArcLight. Is that kind of behavior?
It's gone now, but it was
Oh,
like
it's
the best
gone.
movie theater in the world. I loved it. It was the best.
Now, Pee Wee Herman, when he got caught, he was at an adult.
Yes.
He was at a
Yes,
place.
he was
where
at a
you do
place.
that.
Justice for
Yes.
him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We those were, I mean, I don't even know if that would make a story now. Do you know what I mean?
Sure, these days.
Yeah.
Make a story. Pee Wee Herman showed up and he just watched the movie from beginning to end
Yeah.
without jerking off.
Yeah.
You walk out of anything?
I think so once, but it was I don't know if I did or if I'm remembering I hated the experience that much. But I probably wouldn't have.
I walked out of a yoga class once.
Because the
Why?
yoga teacher was
It was the teacher must have learned yoga that morning. And I'm there to do a workout. And I said to the yoga studio, is there another studio available? I'd like to do my own workout so I could get a little bit of a workout in. And I went to that studio and I just did one by myself. So that's me. That's what I'd walk out
That's a
of.
bold move.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You ever walk out of theater?
Theater's tough. Only a reading once, and that's truly because I was having an existential crisis of if I die, what have I done with my life? I'm
Did
at
you
a
wait
reading.
for intermission? Or
I waited for intermission.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
But
yeah.
I've been in shows where people walk out in intermission and you come back, and that feeling of looking at that smaller audience
Yeah.
is brutal.
Yeah. Well,
I
when
I could never do that.
When I was
Yeah.
doing Titanic because of the
You
way
see Titanic?
that thing.
No, and I'm such a jerk for not seeing it.
But actually, I just remembered last night we actually met very briefly because I was Josh's understudy at Gutenberg, and you
that's right,
were
that's
a guest
right.
producer, and I was like,
Yes.
so many people went through, but yes, it was very brief.
It
But,
was brief but fun.
but because of the way the layout at Titanic is, sometimes you'd be by the like lobby, so you would see people. Like asking for refund, like if it was a more conservative person or something.
Sure.
And, but my favorite guy, one time he stormed out and I was waiting in there and he stormed out and he was wearing a Celine Dion shirt. So clearly like big fan, but he was offended that this was like anti-Christianity. He was telling the box office, but he had a Celine Dion shirt. It was a fascinating character that I was like, whoa, is this guy? Big Celine Dion fan, but very conservative and very godly.
Yeah.
And he was asking for his money back.
Were there any lines that were super anti-Christian?
I don't think so. I think just the gay stuff. I think he just was like, you know.
Wait, how are you going to be a Celine Dion fan? And
that's why I'm saying
you're going to
there's
every
a lot
concert
of
and being like, it's a little gay here at the Celine Dion
There's a lot of
concert.
things happening at the same time. Yeah.
Huh.
Oh
I don't
boy.
know.
You know
Yeah.
what? People contain multitudes.
They do.
They
Good for
really
that guy.
do.
Yeah, good for
I
that
guess,
guy.
I
It
guess.
cannot be easy being a homophobic Celine Dion fan,
Yeah.
and you're doing it, buddy.
Yeah.
He's
You're
probably
getting your money.
maybe closeted.
Yeah.
You know,
Sure,
that's a whole
sure.
thing.
Yeah.
Bless.
So busy.
I'm sorry about your experience. Are you okay now?
You know, the degradations, they just add up in like kind of it's more like I think it's a slower poison. And so it wasn't like acute. It wasn't like I was like so upset or I cried or anything. But I just think you get disrespected so long.
Yeah.
That it builds.
But you also put yourself in that position by being a stand-up.
Yes.
Sure, but I think
Yeah.
Like inherently, like you've made that choice for yourself. And then should we do we dig into that?
sure. Some people call that victim blaming, but that's no. I think Richard Pryor. There's a classic. I don't know if it's apocryphal or not, but he was doing like a show and he said, "You know what? Fuck you, motherfuckers," and left, and then became the greatest comic of all time. So fingers crossed
Yes.
that we're just a couple more of these away from that
Yeah.
big
great.
That
explosive
big
moment.
moment.
Great.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
I feel that for you.
You're going to run into that though. No matter how successful you are as a stand-up, you're still going to be popping in sometimes to do weird things and have shit happen. You know what I mean?
But I think there's always you must know this. The trying to figure out when am I being a diva or when am I being I want too much and when am I just
Mistreated.
having a regular respect that a human being should deserve. And it's really hard to know the difference sometimes.
Yeah.
Because I'm a roll with the punches kind of person.
Yeah.
But then I regret it immensely later. I mentioned this on another tape we did, but I did this. Someone was I was gonna use their gym, and they said, "We'll take a." I said, "I'll share out my story. Let me use your gym." They said, "Fine." Then this guy, he wants to make a video with me, and as I'm working out, he's asking me interview questions. As one of these things, I didn't have the chutzpah to go. This is more
like
than
a
I
little
asked
bit
for.
more. Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't have that.
Yeah.
and I need to develop it
Yeah.
badly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was just at the US Open and Jason Sudeikis which by the way, here's an I don't know if you guys have this with anyone. You probably do. Do you have people in your life from this industry that you've known for a really long time before they became monumentally I'm
starting to have a lot more of them right now. Yes.
There is such a cognitive disconnect for me because I have a very consistent level of recognizability and fame. And
Sure.
I'm thrilled with it. It's like the people that love me are chill, generally women or gay men who are just occasionally a dude who's like, white chicks. And other than that, I just it's just very pleasant, the level of recognition that I get in public. I was at the DNC with Jesse Tyler Ferguson, and I was just like, oh my God, I forgot. I've known Jesse for 17, 18 years, something like that. I forgot, Modern Family is literally the biggest show of all time. The man cannot go anywhere. And then similarly, being with Sudeikis, who I've known for many, many years, and was on SNL, which is very, makes you very popular in our age group. Do you know contemporaries really know who you are? But the amount of people coming up to try to, hey, call my mom. My mom's gonna be, my mom's on the phone and she's like, man, she's obsessed with you. Call my mom. And then he handled it. He was it was really interesting to watch. He handled it really well. Jesse handled it great as well. But mostly with Jesse, we were walking through crowds really quickly.
Yeah.
Jason was more of a sitting duck. And this guy came up and he was so nice. And he is a chef and he's got a restaurant in the city that is great. And he has, I guess, like a booth, like a catering booth or something at the US Open, making these lobster rolls. And he like came up and he's like, I gotta make you guys lobster roll. I'm gonna bring lobster rolls. And he brings us these lobster rolls. They were fucking amazing. Like this guy, I don't even like a lobster roll.
Yeah.
Sure.
This was like the guy, you very clearly went and like made them specific for Jason Sudeikis and his friends in this booth. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like they were so delicious and fresh and whatever. And he was just like being like effusive and great. And he's like, Jason, like, can I get a picture? Like Jason obliged, took a picture with the guy, and he's like, all right, just say best lobster roll and da 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 da. And Jason's like, man, come on, the lobster rolls are great. I'm not doing that. That's absolutely insane. That's outside of I can't do that, man.
Yeah.
And like just the way that he did it was so nice and also so correct that the guy like immediately was like, oh yeah, of course. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's that tone. That tone.
It's
Like,
hard.
Nah,
It's
come
a
on.
fine line,
It's like,
though.
buddy, you know,
Hey,
I can't do that.
You're being too much.
I'm doing this. I'm doing 10 sandwiches along the way. This is insane.
Yeah, buddy. I thought it was like, for me, I thought it was really interesting because I'm more like you and I have a tendency to do a little bit more of like, do you
my
get
God.
it?
No, I don't. It's my dad.
It's
He
your
wants to do
dad.
a second moment of Night
Is it time?
No, it's not. No, it's
That
not.
would be
It's not
amazing.
time. We will tune in.
I
Yes.
definitely like have that tendency. Like I will do weird things. And I'm just glad that I had that moment watching Sudeikis do that because I'm going to now try to implement that tone
Yes.
when I say no to someone.
Yeah.
So I was in New Zealand, and there was another comedian there named Atsuko. Do you know Atsuko?
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course. And listen, I do not hide.
Atsuko.
Atsuko. Yes.
Yes.
Atsuko.
Yep.
Atsuko. Thank you. We are friends.
Atsuko.
Never have to say her name.
Yes, exactly. I just say Bud.
She's been on the pod.
Atsuko. She's
Yeah,
been on the
yeah,
pod.
yeah.
We're pals.
Atsuko.
We flew back from New Zealand together. So I don't hide that if I have any sin in this world, it's envy. That's my sin.
Yeah.
And it was really surreal to, as a comic, occasionally once in a while people come up, they say they know me, and then to be someone where I'm like, whoa, everyone at this museum knows you.
Yeah.
They're going to take us downstairs to touch the artifacts. There's no way we should be touching. We're touching, picking them up. We could have stolen them. I thought about it.
Yeah.
And do you think you've been in the business long enough that you don't have that kind of envy? Do you ever go through phases where, wow, no one recognizes me right now, and then it's a lot, and then it's a little? Or are you so even keeled? It doesn't.
But you're
change
saying
it.
you want that?
I'm
You
not
want
saying I want it.
everything-
I'm just saying it was a weird. I felt like,
You only wanted it because someone else right next to you was getting it?
No. I was like, I'm not doing well. I thought I was doing well. I'm not doing well.
Yeah.
And listen, I'm not here to. This is not a pat on the back. I'm saying that's the feeling that I get.
I get it.
And you're around people sometimes where it's just like they're fucking. Do you look and go, thank God I don't have to deal with the lobster roll guy right now?
Yeah. For me, it's more that because I do get to go into the basements of muses. You know, so I'm just saying, like, if
There's a level, but there's like a
level.
perfect-
I get, you know what I mean? I totally,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
totally
yeah.
like-
know what you're saying.
It's like I played with
but
so
like
many
me
mummies.
on my own, I actually do get like a table at a restaurant or whatever. You know what
Sure.
I mean? But. And so I actually think that's my barometer. Like I love that I can get tables at restaurants like by just kind of walking in.
Yeah.
Most of the time.
Yeah.
Like that makes me
Just walking in. That's fun.
Wow, that's nice.
I mean, guys, I'm not trying to, I've worked for a long
I
fucking
know
time.
you have.
It's a long
I
fucking
know you
time in
have.
this
Yeah.
business
Yeah.
that I've been paying these dues. And but I will say that like the restaurant perk is like to me the best of all of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like just a table
Yeah.
at a restaurant. Yeah.
That does sound nice.
And even like more like, yeah, if I can call ahead when I don't have an assistant, but when I had one that there were more calls ahead because I
Yeah.
don't want to call for myself. That's weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you give the name? Real name, full. Yeah, you have to.
You have to.
Yeah.
Well, I think that the assistants, I don't know.
That's
I
why
don't
it's
know.
less weird with an assistant.
Yeah, assistants do like a whole thing. Although sometimes I have called in like, hey, it's busy, Phillips. I was just wondering if there was any way we could get in tonight. I know it's crazy.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, why don't you guys come in at 7:15? Okay.
What age did you start performing in any capacity?
When I was a child.
Doing like school or
Yes.
you? Yeah.
School plays in Arizona. I grew up in Arizona.
And your mom wanted to be a Broadway performer.
Yes, she did. You did a little bit of research.
did a little bit of
You did
research.
just a little bit.
How far did she get?
She did theater in high school, and she auditioned for and got into the Circle in the Square Theater in New York.
For the 2-year conservatory?
Yes, to the conservatory, and that she grew up in Chicago, outside of Chicago, and her parents said, "No, you're not going to New York City. You're not studying. You're not studying to be an actor."
They let her audition, or she snuck away to audition?
Unclear. I should get clarity on that one, but she was like denied by her parents and they, she would like need her parents' support, I guess, and it was not a time in the world. I mean, my mom's a little bit older. She's like than a lot of people's moms, I guess.
Yeah, that makes sense.
She's 82, so now, so she was like, it was very much of a time like a woman couldn't have a credit card. You know what I mean?
Oh,
like,
really?
Well, women couldn't have their own credit cards until like 1975, right?
Is that
Is
true?
that real?
Yeah, without a cosigner.
Without
Guys,
a
do you not know this?
No.
No, I thought that was the. I thought that was
No,
an
a
episode of
male-
Handmaid's Tale.
No, you guys.
Oh
you
my
guys.
God.
Here, we can look it up
He's
here too.
pulling it
It's
up.
been rough times. It's been rough times to be a woman.
This year marks the
1974.
1974. What did I say? What did I fucking say?
Wow.
Protected women's right
What
to access to
did
credit.
I say?
But before the law, women needed their husbands, fathers, or brothers to co-sign for a loan or credit card.
100%
No fucking
That's
way.
crazy.
Yes. When we talk about equality, when we talk about parity,
Wow.
motherfuckers, my mom couldn't get a credit card until the year my sister was born.
I did not.
That's crazy.
I did not know that.
And
I
that's
thought,
2 years
I
after
thought 1929 we said, we're all equal now.
And this is 2 years after Roe,
Oh my
which is like
God.
important to note because the fact that women were able to finally have agency and bodily autonomy led to more equality, including financial equality.
Wait, this was 2 years after Roe.
Roe is 1972.
So, okay. So then the guys were like, we got to give him credit
You
card.
don't
I don't
need
want
to
pay
look
for
that up.
this.
I'm right.
That's what guys said.
Yeah.
The guy said, yeah, we don't, you pay for the abortion. We'll give you a credit card.
Oh my God.
I mean,
That's crazy.
listen, money's tied to it, is tied to it all.
Yeah.
That is crazy. I did not know that.
Yeah.
Wow.
So when my mother's family is like, her parents are like, no, that's not viable.
Yeah.
You're not going. No, my mom's not going. So she stayed and went to college at a small school in outside of Chicago.
Do you know if that was a devistating thing for
I
her?
think it was really hard for her. Yeah. I think she had a lot of I think my mom came up against a lot of, glass and a lot of ceilings. A lot of glass ceilings.
She was like the first crack.
She wanted to work in, and then she wanted to work in advertising, and her father had set her up with a job interview, like her senior year of college, and she told me the story that like the man that was interviewing her like came around the desk at a certain point and like put his hand on her knee and was just like, "You're too pretty to waste your time doing this." And like she was just devastated. Like, okay, well, I guess that's not happening.
Do you know if your mom, did you ever get to see her perform? I'm just thinking what it's like to have that dream and then to have a daughter so live the most full form of a performance career.
Yeah.
Like, did you ever see her sing a song? Did you ever see her
I've heard my mom sing. And when I think I was like in college, my mom took like an acting class for fun.
Oh, wow. Did she have it? Does she have the goods?
I mean, she's like, I mean, she's like, I didn't see anything that she did.
Yeah.
But
does she have a sense of humor? Like, does she have
but it's like a lot. I come from like her side of the family. They were all performers and orators and writers. And my great grandfather was a socialist Episcopal priest who was like known for these like, very verbose like sermons and would wax philosophically on a number of things.
Were they is it liberalish in that sphere, or were they more conservative?
Oh no, they're liberal but Catholic.
Liberal but Catholic,
Yeah.
Liberal but Catholic.
Yeah.
Yeah, the whole family, liberal but Catholic.
I guess I don't really
Artists and
understand liberal but
musicians.
Catholic as a concept.
Yeah.
Catholic to me seems to be about rigidity.
I know. I feel that, but I don't know. I
Was
don't know
your
what
dad
that is.
Catholic as well?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Catholic. My father was raised with it, but he spared me all of it.
My family's not. They were just like sort of always lax Catholics, I feel like. Mm-hmm. I don't know.
So when you were doing theater in lower school, like was she overexcited about it? Was she into it? Did she support it?
No, she was into it. She definitely loved it. I don't know. I think it's like a type of thing where like I bring up like the rest of her family because I think that these things get like sort of passed down, like it's like just sort of in us to perform. And so, yeah, she was always really supportive. She wasn't necessarily like a stage mom. I was begging from a very early age because weirdly in Arizona, where I grew up in Scottsdale, I had a couple friends who in elementary school, had agents in Los Angeles, and their parents would like fly them to LA to audition for things.
Sure.
And I wanted to do that as a little
course.
kid.
Yeah.
Who wouldn't? I
Who
had a
wouldn't?
friend who like screen tested to be Wednesday Addams
Oh,
in
my
the Addams
God.
family.
Wow.
Like against Christina Ricci. It was a
Wow.
big deal.
That's
Yeah.
huge.
Huge.
Yeah.
Didn't get the part, but it was huge.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I was always sort of like asking for that. And my mom had, like, my parents both were like, no, you can do this as long as your grades are good. You can do extracurricular, activities as long as your grades are good. And then you need to go to college, at least 2 years of college, and you can do whatever you want. I don't know why 2 years of college, but whatever. That was what they, that was like what they came up with.
Liberal Catholic. It's like college, but 2.
Listen, if you get through 2 years, we're good. And exactly like sophomore year, my second semester of sophomore year, I got the pilot of Freaks and Geeks.
Wow.
Because you were in college where?
Loyola Marymount University in Los Angeles.
Okay.
Oh.
Cool.
Jesuit.
That's like the looser Catholic, right?
Looser Catholics, guys. That's what
my
people
step
called me growing up.
My step grandfather, who was in New York during 9/11, he was a.
I'm sorry to laugh. I'm sorry.
No.
He was just in the city.
Yeah.
He was just in the city.
Somewhere.
At a very
Downtown or-
Greenwich Village.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, it's pretty close.
Not far.
But he was a Jesuit dean of students at Georgetown University, I believe. Met my grandmother, was his secretary, fell in love.
Cute.
Wrote he wrote the Pope saying, "Hey, could you make an exception?" Pope, notoriously not an exceptions guy. And they sent him to a psych ward. They said, "You're clearly losing your mind. You want to leave this high status position for your secretary." He said, "No, I'm staying with her." And ultimately he was excommunicated. Excommunicated from the Catholic Church. And he was like, in my crazy family, he's the only one not blood related. He was like the caretaker of the family.
Yeah.
And but Jesuit. And I think that's why. So he was loose. He was really he kind of ran the circuit of colleges. He was really into talking about bullying. He was for it. He said it strengthens character. No, he really. When I was a kid, it all felt so removed. It felt like an 80-year-old guy talking about bullying. You're like, I don't think you know what bullying really is anymore.
Right.
It's online.
Right.
But was his cause. That's how he stayed. But he still loved Catholic Church. He read all the articles of all the people who had left the Catholic Church but still wanted to know what was going on with the Pope.
Yeah.
I feel like it's gossipy in a way.
It's a little gossipy.
Yeah.
It's a little gossipy.
Yeah.
Like a Dumois for the Catholic Church. I mean, that's what like the Vatican Times is. It's like these people aren't. I mean, that's all.
I did not even know there was such a thing as the Vatican Times. What are you talking about?
And they say who's excommunicated in it?
No, I'm just saying like there's gossip about That's why
That'd be crazy.
That's why the Pope said he said the Italian F slur 10 times.
Oh yeah,
because they're all gossipy.
They're gossipy.
They're all just like
and the one Pope like left so he could be with his boyfriend like in the countryside.
Oh my God,
right? Benedict.
Is that true?
Did he?
Isn't it?
I probably.
I mean, that's gossip. I don't know.
I remember walking around Pompeii
Breaking
and it was
news.
like
We don't need to fact check. It's just gossip. They just exist.
Pope gay lover.
I'm almost positive though I'm right.
There was some.
I haven't been wrong yet. I'm just gonna say I haven't been wrong
That's
yet.
true. That's true. When you were raised, did your mom raise you with feminist values? Like, given that she was,
it's so complicated. That's so complicated.
Yeah,
because I think my mom. Yes, I think my mom said that, but then what I like saw in practice felt a little bit different. Because I think a lot of women, my mother's generation, and then I think it kind of carried over even into like a little bit more like, Gen X and elder millennials, which is like girls, women, young women and girls being told like, you can have it all, you can have it all, you can have it all, you gotta have it all, you're gonna have it all, you have to, we fought so you could have it all. But then like what you see in practice is like, your mom is literally doing it all. Like she's doing everything.
Sure.
There was no division of domestic labor. It didn't feel, so my mom went back to work when I was in elementary school at some point and was a real estate agent, but then also, did all the cooking and like cleaning and the housekeeping and the laundry and like the this and the that and kept the kids' schedule straight and all of these things. And I think that for a lot of women, like, born in the late 70s and the 80s, the disconnect of not seeing fathers being like participatory in the domestic life
totally
led to a lot. It's a lot of confusion, and the idea of like you can have it all is like, well, actually, no, you fucking cannot, because you need to have a partner who can help support you and like divide the domestic labor as well.
Did you clock it as a kid at all, or did you only realize later in life?
No, I think I only realized later in life that I was like, that I personally had like deeply ingrained sort of patriarchal beliefs based on like the family system that I was a part of.
Sure.
You know what I mean? But like ultimately like deferring to my dad for just, I don't know, we have to ask your father, like those kinds of things. Like that kind of thing was sort of just in me, or even just that I needed to get married. Like, you know what I mean? Like I just had these things. So I had a lot of big beliefs, right? That like women can do anything and we can have it all and all these, and we can like, I'm not going to marry a rich man. I'm going to be a rich man, but also I do need to get married and have children. And also like, I am going to be responsible for like all of the child rearing, taking care of, you know what I mean? Like those kinds of things that like have taken me a lot of time to sort of divorce myself from. And then I got actually divorced, but
sure.
No shade to my ex-husband, who's like a wonderful partner now.
That's good.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so a good divorce. I mean, I come from a bad divorce family.
We have the best divorce.
That's
People
great.
are jealous of our divorce.
Really?
Yeah.
Dude, that's good.
I think it's good?
No. I said that's good. Sometimes I have a fantasy. Just it's like where I'm like, my friends will get divorced and I have a kid, and I feel like I have so much. I have so much knowledge of like how to be a bad divorce. Like what parents do that fucks up their kid. Because I witnessed it not just from my parents were divorced when I was a little kid, so I just grew up with it separate. So I saw that very clearly. But then my mom and stepdad got divorced, so I think I got like a second vantage point of like watching as an adult, like these two people make decisions that I'm like, this is bad.
Yeah.
And so I always I don't know.
What? Like what kind of stuff?
Sure, I will probably be biased in my mom's favor because she does listen to the pod. But ultimately, there's this belief if you hate each other, if you have a lack of communication, it cannot work. It cannot function. There absolutely is no way to do that without directly damaging your child.
100%.
Yes.
And I think like it was so complicated with my own divorce because my dad, I think, just was a nightmare in certain respects. And when I was a kid, I was very mad. My stepdad was overly strict. My mom could be distant sometimes, but I think my dad was doing so much shit that was hard to understand. He fucked my kindergarten teacher, and I was in first grade, I think, when it happened. But like, I understand looking back, that's not good. And, but at the time, my kindergarten teacher slept over at the house and we did Halloween together and she was awesome and we had a great time.
Yeah.
And then she got fired. And my dad says that my mom got her fired. And it's like, I don't know. I don't know what you do at this point.
Yeah.
What do you do?
But also, like, it's not like he just fucked her. Sounds like he was dating her.
Yeah, but he's not. But he's gonna. The trajectory of my dad's relationships are gonna be he's gonna cheat at some point.
Got it.
And
got
then
it,
I got a teacher
How
at the
did-
school that my dad has cheated on.
Right.
Yeah.
100%. That makes a lot of sense. That's that is.
And
That's not considerate of you.
Yeah.
That's not taking your children's.
Sure. I honestly don't know how you dating with kids.
It's really hard.
Oh my God. But like my dad, I don't know if he waited a little bit, but ultimately he would do this thing. He would buy a bunch of toys or candy for the woman to give to me.
Right.
And I'd be like, this woman fucking rocks.
Incredible.
She's my new mom.
Yeah.
This is the best. And then they'd leave and they'd have to have a second breakup speech with me.
Oish.
Which, God, I mean.
How many were we talking like, in your childhood?
I mean, the two moments, the one that really sticks out to me, there was a woman and we always played Monopoly together. And I remember she brought me to the car one day and she said, hey, I got a promotion at work. I'm going to be really busy and I'm not going to be able to come around as much anymore. And I remember saying, but we'll still play Monopoly.
Aww.
And she said, yeah, I'm sure we'll figure it out. And then like years later, I saw her at the Rite Aid with another guy and a baby and it all clicked.
Man.
It all clicked. So I don't know.
How old were you?
God, I mean that woman at probably like 6,
You were
7.
little,
I was little.
little.
I was little. There's a lot of women that I see pictures that I'm with, and I don't have any memory of them, but
Yeah.
I'm sure I was close with them, and I think it fucked me up.
Yeah. I mean, is your dad a sex addict?
No, I think
Sex and
he's
love addiction?
You know what's weird? It's like I don't think he's a sex addict. I do think he loves women.
Yeah.
But I don't think he's fucking all the time. It was not that sense of like there was sex all the time. I think he likes to flirt. I think he likes the power. I think he likes women. He was
The attention.
a beautiful man. And so he likes the attention of it all. And then I just think he's a cheater at heart. I don't think he's a monogamous guy at heart. And I don't know what you do
are
with
any
that.
men? I just
No, but
you know what I mean?
no men. All men have. Everyone
Yeah.
has
Yeah.
drives.
Yeah.
But some men, you look at the full history of their life, and you go, I don't think the system as society is built around today was made for you.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think unfortunately, who knows? Maybe now he'd be in an ethical, non-monogamous relationship. Maybe.
Sure.
Maybe,
Yeah.
or he'd find someone who loves to swing. I don't know. Or maybe he gets off on the cheating itself.
right.
Maybe.
I mean, that's like a whole thing too.
Yeah.
But there's a degree of like, I don't think he was made for the traditional model of the world.
Yeah.
Fucked up. I'm talking about a fucked up childhood. And so what do you do? And now he's alone and he's dates now and then. But I don't know. When you look at a guy like that, you go, you start feeling sympathetic when they get older and you go, he can't help himself. He goes, especially with the internet, he goes online and he goes on, he's on 15 probably dating apps. My sister told me the other day, found out my sister, who's not on his side, my half sister on the side, he was part of the Ashley Madison League.
Oh,
And here's what's so
my
funny about that,
God.
Busy.
Really?
Here's what's so funny about that, Busy. Ashley Madison is for people cheating on their wives. My dad's not married.
He's not married.
So that means that he was interacting with likely bots on a website to
Yeah.
cheat on your wife that he doesn't
So
have.
maybe it is that
for
more of the
thrill
cheating is the
game.
thrill
The
of it.
thrill.
Yeah.
The thrill of the game.
It's the thrill. That's a lot to unpack.
Wow.
Have you done good therapy? You?
I did, yeah, enough. I mean, I probably need something else.
Yeah.
what are you gonna do?
I don't know. When you're a dude, I think it's like it's hard to escape a bad dad, like, and the effect that it has on you. I see like more guys fucked up by bad dads than like, I don't know, than anything.
Sure. I don't know what the cheating was weird because I didn't find out about till later. Like it's so weird because I look back on all these things, women that were part of my life, family members who then just disappeared. And in retrospect, I'm like, oh, they didn't, as he would have said, like, she just, she went crazy, or when she had that baby, my sister, when she had the baby, it just, she had a fucked up childhood, reconjure that. And I'm like, in retrospect, like, you cheated and she found out, and that's why she started sleeping in the basement.
Right. But like, even still, you have this pattern of women leaving. So like for you, I'm just saying for you,
100%.
your pattern that gets put into you is like, women don't stay, women go.
Yeah.
Sure.
Like, I don't trust this.
Sure.
So that's all I'm.
But listen,
And then you find out the cheating piece, and they're like,
Yeah.
"Eesh, that's
you see
a
that
lot."
David Grohl thing the other day?
Yes, I did.
I don't know if you're friends, but it's
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
It's just the world is the world. It doesn't change. It just doesn't change. We're never going to get to a place where men.
I'm like not surprised by anything ever. I'm
Sure.
just literally never surprised by
Yeah,
anything
that's a
ever.
good point.
Like ever.
There was no moment in your life where you said, "Oh my God, this is all bullshit." When was that moment for you?
I mean, I think I was like, I don't know, 14. I don't know, 12, 11,
Yeah.
13, 12, 14.
Was it connected to religion? Like, did you feel like? Were you religious? Do you remember believing in?
Oh yeah. I write about this in my book. I was like very into it for a bit when I was little. I really like loved it.
Can you still connect it? Can you see a thing of Jesus and you feel something?
No. No, because I like never was like, Jesus was never my vibe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was more like the rest of the trappings of it.
What did you like?
I mean, I think I liked community, and I liked people and the pageantry. And specifically, I remember when I was little, I wanted to be an altar boy. And that was not allowed. Girls
Right.
couldn't be altar boys. And that was the moment where I was like, fuck this shit.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So what did the altar boy do? He comes
He got
out
to
in a
bring,
robe.
yeah, and he got to bring
the
up the thing, the communion
Yeah.
or the wine.
And you're like, you wanted to
I
hold
wanted
it
to
and
hold.
have
I want to be
everyone-
on. I wanted everyone to look at me. I wanted the attention.
Are there jobs that girls could do or no?
I mean, now I think you can be. There are
okay.
altar girls now, but like,
There's altar girls now.
I think so. Yeah, I believe that's true. But I was like rejected, and I remember feeling like, well, this is bullshit. This is fucking bullshit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Did you ever want to be? I don't know how often did you go to church?
Almost never. My parents said we could decide if we wanted to go. And as children, my brother and I were like, we're good. So we went once in a while. We went a little bit when my mom's parents were dying. It felt like she got, she was seeking something,
Yeah.
understandably. And so we went a couple of times here and there, but not ever regularly.
Catholicism. I went to my stepfather's mother's funeral. It was a Catholic funeral, and it was the most emotionally dead. Like the priest just was going by the book, nothing personal, and kept saying like, "Our Lord, the one true God," and I'm like, stop enough talking about. Can we talk about the fucking woman in the ground? And we all got a card with another old white priest with a thing, and you're like, what does this have to do with anything?
I don't know.
It's ritual. There's ritual to cathartic ritual, and then I think there's ritual to stabilize, and it's the same thing. And so that calms you down. Maybe that's what people are getting out of it. Because I'm like, I want the ritual of let's cry or let's laugh or let's do fucking something.
Yeah, let's feel something.
Let's do an orgy. I don't give a shit.
Yeah, I don't think it works. I mean, like the Catholicism. I don't know. I don't know. I don't think it's. I mean, like, statistically speaking, they say that like even though a lot of Americans claim that they're like religious, that like religion's having a real
low
downslide, and people actually going to churches and actually participating in that way.
Well, it's hard to with kind of the rise of the far right, the way that they talk about Christianity, it's so weird because it seems like it's no longer has the religious aspect, the spiritual aspect. It really is just about like the Christians, you can't do, like, I don't know. It feels so not even, it doesn't even have like the pretense of being about God or Jesus
No,
anymore.
it's just, well, okay. Yeah. I mean, first of all, it's all just about like those guys' tax breaks.
Of course.
Totally.
Like 100%. And then they're just like manipulating parishioners through social issues in order to vote the way they want them to vote so that they can continue to get their tax breaks. And that's the whole fucking thing with Catholicism and abortion anyway. And when Jerry Falwell decided to take abortion on as an issue, like the evangelical Christians didn't fucking care about abortion at all. In fact, they made a statement when Roe was passed in 1972 saying they thought it was a good thing, that it was a good decision. And then they saw 100%.
That is,
yes.
I believe you. I'm just shocked.
Yeah.
They
thought it was a good.
Why did they think it was good? They just thought,
because they were a little bit were like, they don't give a fuck. Like they were like, we're doing our thing. We're going to heaven. Abortion was not a thing that they cared about. And it wasn't an issue, but their tax breaks were, and Jerry Falwell wanted to keep his Liberty University tax exempt, but he also wanted to keep it segregated. But segregation was real unpopular.
Sure.
Because there had been a reckoning. But they looked at the success that Catholics specifically had with anti-abortion, with getting anti-abortion Catholic politicians elected. There was one case in Illinois that they specifically looked at, and they were like, that's it. That's how we're going to do it. And so they started targeting politicians that were going to give them the tax breaks they wanted. And they're like, abortion's going to be the thing that we're going to talk about, not the segregation, because I want to keep the segregation if I need my tax break. So that's how they started like weaving all of the anti-abortion rhetoric and like the idea that like God's against abortion and it's killing babies. And by the way, Catholics are only against birth control and abortion because of tithings, which is money, which is that the more babies you fucking have, the more you give to the church every week. So for them, it's financially advantageous for people to have more fucking babies. It's all about control and money. This whole fucking thing is about money to these motherfuckers. They don't give a shit.
Are they... The people that are moved, okay, so you have the master manipulators, yeah?
Sure.
And then you have the people, ultimately, that are
feeding
the money that are feeding it.
Yeah.
And those people, this is condescending to say, but those people are manipulated in the sense that they go, baby, don't kill the baby.
It's an emotional manipulation, of course.
But couldn't there be how is it that emotional manipulation, you would think... all the people who are talking about babies all day long would also be talking about Palestine 24/7, or would also be talking about we need to make sure that people who come into the country, they're taken care of, are fed and clothed.
Yeah.
And so
100%.
part of me is like, is there not a way, if we're playing people's heartstrings, to manipulate them in a way that they become radical leftists?
I think there's a thing that there is an emotional manipulation for sure. But I also think once something goes on for so long and it's this versus this, it's a thing about winning. I do think that there's a thing of a sect of people who feel the way that they feel. They do really feel a certain way about things. But I do think that now it's more important to beat something else.
Sure.
And
now
to be like, I know that this is one of my things and I want to, and I feel strongly about it, and to go to the extremes. I don't know. It feels like there's a winning thing.
Yes, totally. And it's also ingrained and so deeply tied to capitalism at this point that like, and this idea that like, we're all just, American exceptionalism, and that like we are all, especially like white people believe that they are owed something. They are fucking owed it, and that they deserve it. And so it's very easy to manipulate someone into being like, that thing you don't have? Look at all these motherfuckers that have that thing that you don't have. You should have that thing. Why don't you have that?
Yeah.
And so like people have gotten into this headspace of like, it's just actual true insanity. And if you go back to it, I started researching my great-grandfather, who I didn't know a lot about, the socialist Episcopal priest.
Yes.
That at the turn of the century, there were a lot of priests that were sort of, more socialist leaning. And they were kind of just like driven out by politicians and capitalists who
Yeah.
were like,
Yeah.
and capitalist priests who like wanted money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know it's like why it's wild to like
But
think that
that-
it's like so it can be so reductive.
Yeah.
No, but I think it's money. What I don't understand is Elon Musk is just like I hate him so deeply, of course. But it's like I don't understand how someone like Elon Musk, like he'll say, and some of these politicians they'll be like, "You guys need to be having more kids. You guys got to be having more kids." As they hoard the wealth.
Yeah, you're like, what are you
as
talking
they
about?
hoard the wealth and I just wish. I don't understand how people without money look at people with that much money and don't go, "Hey, fuck that guy."
Because
Fuck that guy.
the idea is that any of us can be that guy, and that's the thing that they keep perpetrating, even though they know that's not fucking true. Even
So
though
when do they
Elon
what's
Musk,
the wake up call? They're on their deathbed. I mean, it's like the people,
100%.
but maybe not even that. It's like the people on their deathbed from COVID who didn't think COVID was real and they were dying
Yeah.
of it actively. Like
Yes.
I just don't understand. I'm like, I want to give them a little bit of that envy that I have. I go, dude, look at this. This guy's has it and you
Yeah.
don't.
Yeah.
This fucking. And he's having all these kids, and there's this belief we're going to go to Mars. I'm like, his kids are going to Mars,
Yeah, we're
not
not
your
going
fucking
to-
kids
we're
are
not
going to
going to
Mars.
Mars.
Your kids are going to be scooping up the coal into the fucking rocket
Yeah.
ship, and I don't.
I know. What is that? The disconnect between like voting against your own best interest is wild. I mean, in part because it's like white supremacy for a lot of people.
Yeah.
It's just deeply ingrained white supremacy.
Yeah.
That's it. Like
Yeah, I mean, you watch
Like,
you
period.
watch the debate last night, and you're like, the only thing that he keeps going back to is the immigration thing and
Yes.
scaring people.
Yes.
And you're like, it's just totally a thing of being like, there's brown people, and you need to be scared of them, and that's all you need to vote
And that's
for me
what's
for.
is that he went too far. He went too far into and they're eating your cats, and it was like
eating your cats.
the pets.
eating
the
your
pets.
pets.
Eating your fucking pets.
Eating your pets.
It was only glorious in the sense that like he went,
It
he just went
was-
too far. He just went too far for the average racist, for the kind of like congenial racist that
Maybe.
maybe,
We'll
but that
see.
story wasn't real.
We'll
that
see.
story
Yeah,
wasn't real.
but does that matter? Because like the thing
Maybe
that
a
they
little bit this time. I'm hopeful.
Maybe. I will say I think that they did a good job finally of sort of like real time fact checking when they
Fact-checking, yeah.
could. I mean, there were so many wild swings, but there were some very
Yeah, and by the way, the bar is so low because
That's what I'm
we're literally
saying.
like, it was really nice how when he claimed someone ate a pet cat that they said, just so you know, that didn't happen, and we're like, thank.
And then he
Good
he
for
said
the
and then he
news.
said I saw it on TV.
I saw it on TV.
I saw it on TV. And there are a large swath of Americans right now who are like, he saw it on TV. I saw it on TV too. That happened.
People locking up their pets.
That happened. I saw it on TV. It happened.
Yeah.
When did you see it on TV? When Trump said he saw it on TV?
Yeah.
That's when I saw it on TV.
Yeah.
How you feeling? You feeling optimistic?
I am. I'm going to Charlotte, North Carolina tomorrow for the Harris campaign.
nice.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
the day, for 9 hours or something. Yeah. But I am optimistic. I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful that people turn out. Abortion's on the ballot in 9 states, currently 10 states maybe now. Or because it got rejected from 2 because they don't actually want it to go to a vote because they know that if it does,
They'll lose.
they will lose. They will lose what they want. So we've had a few setbacks. But how many? Yeah, because Missouri just took it off, right? Yeah, fuck them. That's the problem. I mean,
And you think if Kamala wins, she's going to codify Roe v. Wade?
I think that if she gets the Senate,
Sure.
nothing can be done unless we get like the House and the Senate.
If she did,
Yeah.
you think she will?
10 states.
100%. It's
Yeah.
in 10 states. What did I say? 9?
9.
I'm doing well. I'm
You
doing
are.
well. I think everybody wants to see. I don't even think it's like codifying the right to abortion at this point. Like we have to make it clear that all people should be able to make medical decisions with their doctors that are best for them, and that politicians who have no fucking idea what they're even talking about have no right to. And also, like, people deserve to have IVF. They deserve to be
Sure. Yeah.
able to have families when they want to have families and how they want to have families. And the fact that
the IVF thing really felt like the people who were anti-abortion were short-sighted in the way that they were going to piss off a new swath of people by saying, like, now people are scared to do the IVF because if they fuck up an embryo, they'll be sued for murder. It's like, I hope they get what's coming to them.
Yeah.
I always think, should I ever be in a place where I would be of use politically or rally or showing up to things in the way that you participate in? I'm very skeptical of both, not both, but the Democratic Party. There are so many things that I have many issues with.
Yeah,
whether and I think what was so easy, at least when I was coming up, the way that I identified the two parties kind of as a youth in high school was around gay marriage. And it was such a no-brainer, whether because I was a theater person or because I saw what marriage was. And I said, are you kidding me? You think this holds any kind of sacred value in your mind?
I have my whole theory is that we were fighting for the wrong thing. We should have been fighting for marriage to be not government mandated at all. Government, I mean, I don't know. The government, you shouldn't get any fucking tax break just for being married.
Sure.
Yeah.
There are other rights, obviously, that you need to be able to establish, but it shouldn't affect your tax breaks. My single friends who are 40 and single, they're not getting the same tax breaks as someone who's married. That's fucked up.
I couldn't agree more.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Why are we fighting for why is marriage? Oh, I know why. Because it upholds the fucking patriarchy. That's why.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, did you know that in Maryland, at the time that my mom got divorced, and I believe this rule changed, but this is real. You can look this up because I'm not as sure. Is that when you got a divorce, before you could file for divorce, you had to live under separate roofs for an entire year and not have sexual relations for that year. And my theory, and I've never looked it up, partly because I go no, this is why, is because it was developed at a time where the man would be the breadwinner. And that gave him two ways to always be in the power to deny a divorce. It is the no-fault divorce of a different name.
Right.
Because this is what happened to my mom to a degree. I think honestly, I saw, where you have a meal, it's called deconstructed, right? Where you have all the ingredients. I saw marriage deconstructed, and I saw the consequences still. My mom stopped working because my dad asked her to stop working to marry me.
Of course.
Then when they got divorced and she married my stepfather, she worked a little bit, but she was a lawyer. And you can't stop being a lawyer for 5 years and then continue back where you left off. And so suddenly she wants a divorce. How is she going to pay for the house?
Right.
And then with the sex one, it just sounds like if you don't want a divorce, you just go in there and you say, Your Honor, we had sex last night.
Yeah.
It just gives an excuse to delay.
Yeah.
And I think that was changed. But that's all the rules.
There's a lot of wild things that still exist lots of places.
But I remember my stepfather, he dropped me off at middle school and he said, I just believe marriage is between a man and a woman. And I was like, I know, I can see your marriage crumbling in front of my eyes. And that you say this, and he's so smart.
Why was he telling you that?
Because gay marriage was a topic.
But that was the topic.
Yeah,
and I think I was like, who cares?
Yeah, who gives a shit?
Sometimes I don't know when. Sometimes I'm like, am I liberal? Am I just like, who gives a
Well, that's,
shit?
that is kind of what I'm like. I'm very much I don't know, man, live your fucking life. It makes you happy, do it. What do you want? What do you need? How can I be of assistance or not? I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't understand why people get so upset or invested in other people's lives and bodies.
Yeah.
It's weird to me.
Would you ever become a politician?
No.
Do you ever go by being part of these events, and obviously certain causes 100% in agreement that you, when they do something in maybe some other realm that you disagree with or you think is shitty, that you feel tied or you feel like...
I think that nothing is perfect, including this system, and no politician is perfect. And, the fucking lie that we've all been fed is, first of all, that change happens immediate and overnight. what happened with Roe was 30 years in the making. What happened with that Supreme Court was like very specifically laid out by the Republican Party, and they got a guy that was able to fucking do it. Mitch McConnell, the fact that like Merrick Garland didn't, that Obama's pick on the Supreme Court got like punted was insane. Like in that moment, the Democrats fucked themselves because they should have fought. The Republicans would have never done that, never allowed that to have happened.
Sure.
Ever.
Yeah.
And, the truth is, I think that like there was a sort of pervasive idea on the Democrat side that like, in order to continue to uphold democracy, like everything needs to be done like by the book and like in this maybe sort of older school way of operating. And the Republicans have had this playbook that they've been, whether it's like Karl Rove or Steve Bannon or whoever the fuck is the devil. I don't know who's writing this shit. Like, but they are systematic, and they're also people that chip away. They chip away. They have gerrymandered districts.
Yeah.
They have put in justices in different states. Like they have made sure that they have these like strongholds so that have made this possible. What's happening in Missouri, not allowing abortion on the ballot, is a direct result of years and years of Republican planning. And I think that part of what happens with liberal people, and especially younger liberal people, is like they get really fucking disappointed when it all doesn't change overnight, or when their one issue that they fucking care about isn't the one that's taking
but their pressure.
stage.
I also think that their pressure though is part of the
What
keeping
moves
things in
things.
check.
100%.
Because it's like, especially with Palestine, I feel like there's a degree of that pressure. If everyone said, okay, we're all gonna chill because we want to make sure there's certain things we got to beat Trump. We still need that pressure of like, hey, there's other things we need to talk about
100%.
right until the final day.
100%.
And then yes, I don't want Trump to win.
No.
I hope at the last second that a lot of people go, we got to take care of this unless we want America to dissolve.
Yeah.
I know, but I'm just like the burn it all to the ground is not like that comes from such a place of fucking extreme privilege.
Sure.
Fuck you.
Sure.
You know what I mean? If you're like, well, fuck this because of the U.S.'s involvement with Israel and Palestine, like you can't see that like people in this country people that like we just owe it to. If you're gonna live here, you owe it to everyone to participate in a real meaningful way. And yes, it's like demonstrations. And yes, it's making your voice heard. And yes, it's putting pressure on the politicians that are in office, but it's also showing the fuck up and voting for the person who's not perfect.
Sure. But let's just say if you are a person who goes, let's say you're from Palestine or you have Palestinian friends or you just
I
look
think
at
they
the
made
things.
a huge fucking mistake at the DNC not letting
Sure.
the Palestinian.
But that's I don't know why I don't and I know why they do it.
Talk.
I mean I have no idea, nor do I even
I
particularly
actually don't know why they didn't.
because there is a segment of the Jewish population, a large segment of the Jewish population that votes Democrat in general, as a matter of course.
There's also a large part of the Jewish population that votes Republican.
Sure, but it's going to be a lot bigger if there's a lot that are very sensitive to the moment there is even a hair of a criticism of Israel, and I mean like that. And they will drop. They will forget it. They will drop abortion rights if someone it feels like it's critical of Israel. Now, I was not raised in that. I don't understand it. I can't fucking fathom it. I cannot fucking fathom dropping all the other values because someone criticizes a fucking country that's bombing and
Yes,
we
yes.
see videos and on horror. But that's true.
Rabbi Sharon Brous in Los Angeles who is the head rabbi at ECAR in LA is a friend of mine, and I love her. And she is very able to speak to like being able to hold these truths of like, this is an atrocity, and the response is unacceptable, and we need to continue to put pressure on our politicians. And also, you know, as Jewish people, we need to feel protected, and we need to, like, you know, rally around the families who have lost people. And I do think it's hard to lose sight of the of humanity. Like, people get like wound up in identity and they lose sight of humanity, is all I'm saying.
Of course.
Yeah.
And so that's my point about the voting thing, is like, don't get wrapped up in like, you cannot lose sight of humanity, because what's happening, especially in the literal 41 states that now have like some sort of abortion ban, is that people are dying, being denied care. Women who can't afford it are having children who've been raped, are having babies, like children younger than my daughter. Like, we can't, I don't know. And like, to the Jewish people who would like not vote because of like, that's fucked up. And also it's against Jewish values. Just FYI.
They'll accuse Biden of being like too hard on Israel. And I'm like, you guys have lost the thread. If you think Biden's being hard, I 100% agree.
Yeah.
But like, whatever. I don't want to get, I don't know.
No, it's also so frustrating.
I have Jewish children.
You know what can be so frustrating when it comes to the discussion about abortion is that it's obvious people should have the right to abortion, period. But then you have to like go to the rape or incest to be like, as the like kind of argument, like, come on guys. And it's like, it's so nice. It's one of those things.
The qualifying of abortion, especially like even at the DNC, I was also disappointed. Like, I testified before Congress about the abortion I had when I was 15. I just got knocked up when I was 15 because I was an idiot. And I had an abortion, and I don't regret it. And I have friends who have had abortions in their 20s and 30s and 40s just because they accidentally got pregnant.
Sure.
And for one reason or another, and they couldn't have, whatever. I've also had lots of friends who've had fetal abnormalities that were like devastating, and for very wanted babies, and had to have abortions. Yes, the qualifying of this like rape or incest or whatever.
Yeah. It reminds me of like when there was the thing of like being gay is not a choice, and it's okay to be gay. It's like you have to show both things, and for some people you had to be like, listen, this is not a choice. And other people but deep down I want to be like, even if it was like, this is crazy that who gives a shit? Yeah. But like, you have to like do this dual thing.
Yeah.
It's a lot. Guys, there's a lot.
It's a lot.
It's a lot. You know what I like to say? We got to hold all the things.
Yeah.
We got to hold all the things.
I think watching the debate last night, it's been a while since I've watched Trump for that long, you know? And it was this reminder of, God, this is exhausting. Like, as a country, like, it just having that kind of energy and that kind of person running things and in front of you at this, like, it was like, I was reminded, it's been nicer to not, even though he's still present always, but like, it's been so much nicer to the last 4 years that it's not every day that you have to watch it and you have to be in your, and so like watching last night, I was like, oh my God, this is so exhausting. This person's energy is so exhausting. I don't know how anyone works with him.
But it's a culture, you've talked about it, where it's like an inability to feel joy. And so to replace that, you feel angry or aggravated.
All the
like
time.
There's some, it's almost just a cultural, where a whole group of people have lost the
can't laugh,
dance it out.
Like, what? It's
always just gotta be like, well, there you go. Like, I don't, because I'll look at, you know, the Sean Hannitys or the Tucker Carlsons, and I'm like, it's so smarmy. Doesn't that just make you like kind of like, ugh?
Yeah,
I wouldn't like it from anyone, even with my views.
Yeah.
I do feel like it's like all comes down to, I don't know, whatever love they didn't get in their childhood.
Hey, we all did. We all missed out on some love.
We all missed out on some love.
We're
all just looking for some love. We're just trying to do it with like making people love us and comedy.
Sure.
Yeah.
They're trying to do it by hating other people. And that's how they're finding community, because they're banding together to hate others.
But let me, maybe this is tied to, this is why you need the arts And partly why you need the arts, you need people to have some level of expression so they can like get this stuff. And that's why
and empathy.
I remember Candace Owens, she said something about, she was like, stop going to therapy, man. You don't need to go to therapy. And it's like that, telling men not to masturbate, telling people not to do the arts. All of it is about, I think people in power, fascists, are able to control a body of people more if they have less outlets for their feelings.
Yeah.
So they cut off arts,
Yeah.
they cut off sex, they cut off therapy. And it's just like, then they're easy to manipulate because they're so mad and they're ready to attack. They're just mad all the time.
Yeah, and they have no worldview. They can't see outside of their own sad little balls of anger inside of their chests.
You have decided to raise your family in New York.
Wow. This is the choice that has been made for me, and we're here. Just from work, work and stuff,
But what do you? My girlfriend and I were going to LA for like 2 months at the beginning next year.
Ooh.
She's a manager, and I have a pretty.
You have a good girlfriend.
I have a great girlfriend. Yeah.
Everybody loves her.
They do.
Yeah.
They do.
She's great.
I just wanted. I'm like, honestly, that's why I asked you the questions, because I was just like, I'm looking out for her. Earlier, where I'm like, have you done the work? Do you go through therapy?
Yeah.
Sure. No,
Is that fair? Is that fair? You know what I mean? I'm always like a little bit like, are you okay?
No, it's very kind.
Because she's a great girl.
Sure, I've been through therapy. I sometimes worry, though. The only difference between me and my dad is I know I'm mentally ill.
Ah.
Like I have self-awareness. I have
self-awareness.
My father,
fucking everything.
It's fucking everything, and it can be crippling, and it can make you neurotic in a way that can be unbearable.
Yes.
But that's something my father just doesn't even possess.
That's like a narcissistic tendency not to have self-awareness, right?
To a degree,
yeah.
But I'll also tell you, it's why I'm hesitant to get married because I have self-awareness that I like. What is this? What is this thing? Mm-hmm. I think it could be so crippling. It could prevent me from having kids.
Yeah,
because I think I have a self-awareness of like, I know I have narcissism in me, and I'm like, could I really put this kid ahead of my own narcissism? I saw my father fail so deeply. And ultimately, like, I think he tried when I was younger. When I was cuter, it was probably easier. But then, like, as you get older and you're just like a shitty, opinionated son who disagrees with you on everything, I think it probably becomes a lot harder to prioritize that ahead of your own, going on dates.
Yeah.
Do you consider yourself have any strain of narcissism, or you're like, I'm not a narcissist?
Me?
Yeah.
I don't think I'm a narcissist.
You?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've thought a lot about it.
I've thought a lot about.
I've done a lot of therapy though.
I've thought a lot about you, and I don't think that you are fully. I think when you say there are moments and you have a self-awareness about it, I think that you're not someone that I'm like, he's a narcissist. You know what I mean? Like, I think I know you have self-awareness around moments.
But I'm at war with it. I think I'm at war with it on a regular. Or maybe it's just a regular thing. But in conversation, I'm like, hey, you're just talking about yourself, Gianmarco. You need to ask a question. Who doesn't have a podcast and doesn't have a little bit of? We have to believe that.
She disagrees.
You disagree? We believe to some extent that our thoughts that everyone's having. Everyone has thoughts.
Yeah, sure.
We go hit record on ours.
Right. But like also that's not unique at this point. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Literally everyone has
everyone.
Everyone has a podcast. Everyone has access to social media. Everyone's like, hey guys, how's it going? 3 followers. You know what I mean? Like whatever. Like everybody's doing it. Yeah. Everybody's doing it. I don't think a narcissist it makes. I think it's like, for us also it's like career stuff and like you got, I actually would end my podcast if I could. I actually would not do this right now if I could.
Busy. No offense. You did not need to do this.
I felt but I feel like when somebody asks me to do something, I want to show up for them. You were nice to me at that show. I cried in front of you. And then backstage, I cried. And yes, wow. I know. I felt like I owed it to you because you had to see my weird outburst of emotion in Los Angeles.
Gianmarco's going to be searching for any celebrity to cry. in front of him now. So
I had like a weird day. I just had a weird day. I
oh.
don't even remember what happened. I got like a text. I was mad about something. I was upset.
Did I handle it well? Was
You
I
were
supportive?
you were very kind. Yeah, you were very kind.
I learned some of that. I learned some basics from couples counseling.
Great.
Like I learned the skill. Not every man has the skill. So I certainly did, to go get the tissues.
Oh.
yeah. I think you just handed me the tissues. Yeah.
That's good.
That was nice.
And I
Nice.
said,
That's good.
so I have a podcast. It's called The Downside.
It's literally like that's not what happened. That's not what happened. But I did. But like I do these things. Yeah, I like do them because if people ask, and I know, we're all out here trying to. I want everybody to succeed. That's my. I like want everyone to do well, and I want everyone to succeed. And like if you ask me because you're like, I would love for you to come on this thing, I'm gonna try. I'm gonna do my best to try to show up for other people.
That's nice.
My girlfriend, who is great, we're going to be spending some time in LA, and I have a feeling that I was in Toronto doing shows, and she had some clients in the Toronto Film Festival, and she Tiff.
Yeah.
and she,
I'm familiar.
Oh, sure. She. No. I knew you were familiar. It's like there's some nice moments where she's really around the LA scene, all the movers and the shakers, so to speak.
Sure.
And it gives her a thrill, and she's I think feels sometimes when she goes to LA, it's like it's all happening here. And I have a pretty good feeling that we're gonna go there to try it out, and she's gonna be like, we need to move here. But she loves New York too, and I guess I'm wondering for you. Do you love, at least with a family? Do you
my job is different, obviously, and for me, the being away from all that has been so nice.
Yes.
I don't know when awards shows are. I am not inundated with so many goddamn billboards of shows that I didn't even know existed that I'm not on. That I did, wasn't asked to audition for, whatever. Yeah. Like, I am not running into people at Soul Cycle who are talking constantly about whatever, this person is doing this thing and this person sold that and this and the. Like, I never realized until moving here that I always had some low grade level of anxiety about my own career and my ex-husband's career and like what we should be doing more of and where we should be going and what we should be support, like, that kind of thing.
Yes.
That is just like, it is inescapable in Los Angeles. And then also I was back there over the summer and it was so nice to go to this party where I could talk about this fucking business the entire time from start to finish with people that I've known for 25 years. And and it was just so easy and wonderful and fantastic to doing bits with people who are really funny and can really do bits and hang. I don't get that so much here in the circles. You know what I mean?
Who's the funniest friend that we would know? Like a comedian.
Where?
Like in real life, they're like the funniest.
Oh, well, I think my friend Jen Tulloch is like one of the funniest. She's
I
on
did
Severance.
a reading with her.
Oh, you did?
Recently.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
That
Was the
funny.
one?
A different one.
A different one.
A different one. If it was for a movie. But
that's cool.
Yeah. She's great.
She's
so great.
She makes me laugh.
She's a great
so
actor.
hard. I love her so much. But she is on serious dramas. Like she's on.
Really?
She's
Severance.
on Severance.
Yeah, she's on Severance.
Yeah.
She plays a sister. She's like Adam Scott's pregnant sister.
Oh yes.
Oh
God.
No, she's amazing. But
Yeah, she's great.
so funny.
Yeah.
She cracks me up. But like Ike Barinholtz is like one of my friends for 1 million years. I've known Ike and like Seth Meyers and his brother Josh Myers.
Yeah.
He's a good friend of mine in LA. Those guys used to live together, Ike and Josh and Hayes MacArthur. Like they all lived in some house. This is like, I don't know, 20 years ago, 15 years ago. Anyway, yeah, I don't know. And here it's like at my kid's school, I might be the only actor.
Yeah.
Sure.
I think I might be.
Yeah, you're
Sure.
definitely encountering people from different, it is that thing where I always say, like, when you go to LA, you're like in the hotel lobby, you're like, oh, there's so much industry happening everywhere you go.
Everywhere you go.
You go to a coffee shop, you go to every bar, everything, you can feel it.
But
And
yes.
it can be both like exciting and also, like that kind of like thing.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
feel like
yeah.
you're on.
I
you know?
lived there my entire career until 4 years ago. 4 years ago. Is that 4 years? Yeah. Wait, yes. Yes, 4 years ago. And I do think that like also with the kids too, there's something weird. Like anywhere your kids go to school in Los Angeles, everyone they're in school with, their parents work in the industry.
Yeah.
Everyone in
Yeah.
some form. Their parent runs the studio. Their dad is the first AC on whatever, like Grey's Anatomy.
Yeah.
I don't, you know what I mean?
Sure.
Like there's like, it's everyone works in some, they're a publicist, their mom's a publicist, their dad is an entertainment lawyer. Like it's just, you cannot escape it. And kids like speak this language like really young. And it's a weird language for children to hear children speaking. I remember once being at a restaurant and these kids who were like clearly like in middle or high school were like having lunch behind me, which, you know, you see sometimes like it's cute. Like they're
Yeah.
like playing grown up or whatever. And the kid was like, I don't know if Janusz is going to shoot it, but like if he does, I'm just going to tell you. And I was like, I mean, guys, calm down.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck? And we had an experience with one of our my older daughter when she was like first grade, second grade, where like we still had like a baby monitor in her bedroom, you know, like
Yeah.
just you do like this is like a parent thing, like you just kind of And we would let her and her friends like hang out in her room, but like we kind of like I would keep the volume on a little bit, just like make sure
Sure.
things aren't getting weird or out of control. And actually, it was my ex-husband that was listening, and they were going over the Instagram followers of their parents and all their kids in their class. Like, how many Instagram followers did people's parents have? And Mark. I just heard like this running through the house, and then he like opened the door, and I just heard like, guys, you know, not real. And I was like, wait, what happened? Like, what was that? What happened? And he's like, you're not gonna fucking believe this. And he was like, I just explained to them, it's not real. They need to talk about something else.
That's
Like,
so funny.
And I was
so
like,
funny.
yeah, that's fucking weird.
Yeah.
That's not a conversation that kids, like I've heard
Yes.
kids here having about their parents.
Agreed.
Okay. So that's my point.
Good. I'm going to use it.
Yeah.
I'll come back here. Let's go on to our next segment. This has got to stop.
This has got to stop.
This has got to stop. Something needs to end, go away. Russell, you got one?
I don't think I've done this one before, but I don't know if it has to stop or has to change. But when you see someone, a friend, and they say hey, say hi to Tova for me, I need you to give a specific message or really mean it. Really say to me, I want you to grab me by the shoulders and say hi to Tova. Like, because it's just such a toss away line. And I never do it.
Sure.
And I always feel like I'm not going to do this. And because I also, usually it's someone who could text Nicole and tell her. Do you know what I mean? Like there's a thing where I'm like, you tell her, you're friends with her. Like just text her right now, you know? I don't know. It's just a toss away thing. It doesn't mean anything. It's not malicious.
So your wife specifically, if I say to you, I said it before, send Nicole my love.
I never know. I don't do that. For you?
We've been doing all the love.
I do if a specific thing has happened, like if a loss or something, you know, if there's like
If she's in the room, do you do, Gianmarco says hi?
No.
Oh my God. All these years.
No. Do you?
Yeah.
I feel bad because I actually
Russell
don't
says
think
hi.
of it. Yeah.
Sometimes I was bringing up
I mean,
I'll say, they say hi, and she said, what did they say about me? And I go, that was the full extent.
the full extent.
It was hi.
It was hi. Yeah.
They had no other opinions.
Yeah. Anyways.
Okay.
I think it's fine if you have a real specific message or you really cut through and tell me I need to do it. I'll do it, you know.
Tell Nicole, I'm sorry.
Okay, I'll do that. See, I'll do that.
Gianmarco said he's sorry?
Said he's sorry.
Do you know what? My This Has Got to Stop. I'm doing it for Tova. This is the Tova's This Has Got to Stop. Since you brought up Soul Cycle. We're soul cyclers. Tova really does not like turn to your neighbor and say good job.
No.
Turn to your neighbor
I got it.
and say hi. Now, I don't like it. And as an antisocial person, I go, I need it. I need to make sure that I need to work on this.
Yeah.
I need to
I
work.
see.
Okay, good. I'm sweaty. I feel weird, but like, just do it. Just do it. Just say hi.
Yeah.
Outside of your comfort zone.
Yeah. And then sometimes they don't give it back, and I go, whoa. I thought we were
This
all
is part of the class.
I thought this is, but we
This
had-
is the soul. This is the soul in the soul cycle.
Yeah.
We have done the cycle. This is the soul.
And we had a teacher recently. I think they were a little bit new and they were leaning on it a little too hard. So there was about 15 check in with your neighbor.
Oh my
And Tova at
God.
the end was like,
No.
"What? Are we having a conversation in this class?" so her this got to stop is I don't know. We need community. We're lonely in this world.
Yeah. Loneliness epidemic.
But that's probably not fixing it.
Yeah.
I've never said, "Hey, do you want to get lunch?"
Yeah.
So
Have you ever made friends with someone that you work out that you like just knew through a workout?
no, I don't think so. And I'm a class boy.
You got a class pass.
But when at Barry's, I'm going to make a friend. Soul
Maybe,
Cycle, I'm
I
going to
don't
make
know.
a friend. You made a friend at a workout class?
Yeah.
Where was the access point? The music is blaring in the locker room,
Yeah. After, before, waiting.
and you've gone somewhere else with them.
Yeah. Well, I made like a really good friend at Tracy Anderson method like a million years ago.
Well, I haven't
in
tried
Los
the Tracy
Angeles.
Anderson method.
In
What
Los
is that
Angeles.
one?
Oh, it's like not a lot of guys, not a lot of men.
That's the same for all the classes.
That's true. It's like a lot of jumping around and then like sort of like leg lifts and things like that.
Yeah.
And then when I lived in LA, I do, and like pretty people know this about me. I do this workout called LEK Fit, or I call it LEK Fit, but it's really LEK Fit. And she has a studio, but I made like a bunch of friends. Like I was friends with all these girls there, and including a girl who would come on the weekends, and she was in high school and she was so sweet. And then I ran into her on the street here right when we moved to New York, and she had just graduated from college, and she ended up like being our babysitter for 2 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
I tell you, in LA, this is where I was like, oh, I'm in LA. I took a workout class, I think at camp. It's like hot yoga, hot things. And I
don't know it.
just always bring my phone in with my keys and whatever, and I just put it to the side.
They were not happy.
No, here's what, so I just put it to the side. And then afterwards, a woman came up to me and she said, hey, if you were filming that class, I really don't want any of my things on the internet. And it was so interesting. I, of course, was not filming it at all. I just had my phone kind of like this, leaning or whatever. I don't think it was directly, but it felt like I was like, oh, that's never happened. And that I feel like it must be because this is a place where people are filming more, and filming is like a thing.
Right.
And I felt so. I was like, hey, look at my phone. I swear to God, I wasn't filming. But it was, it felt like, oh, this is a different culture thing. I've never had anyone say that ever. And this
Yeah.
person thought I was filming myself working
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
And I
Yes.
don't even think a pervy thing. Like they thought I was filming myself and
that
they were
she
in
would
it.
be like in the background.
And it was very interesting.
That is interesting. But also, why didn't she want to be on the internet?
I know. I was like, well, you should have done better for him then. You should have been
You know what I mean?
trying a little harder.
Yeah.
Do you have this? Got to stop.
Yeah. You might not like it.
That's okay.
You got to stop asking people who are coming on your podcast for free to do homework.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm not going to do it.
Sure.
Yeah.
I don't have one.
Sure.
Hey, this is what I say to them every week.
Hey,
Hey,
that's
honey,
fair.
I
Hey.
can't. I'm coming from a charity thing.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm
that's
going to
great.
another thing. This
Yeah.
got to stop.
Sure.
We're lucky I'm here.
Yeah, we are.
Listen.
Listen.
Believe you me. Russell texted me. First of all, we've never had a guest early, period.
Oh.
Comedians who are not coming from anything.
Yeah.
And
Comedians, the first thing that they of their week on. Yeah.
and I expected I'd get here and it'd be like 15 minutes. You'd show up and you'd be like, I got to go in 20 minutes. We'd be like, we're just so happy to have you. And then Russell texted me. I mean, all caps. Get here. She's here. And I ran as fast as I could.
Well, I was like, because we recorded yesterday and you were a little late, and I was like, you can't be late like today. You know what I
I
mean?
was not going to be late today.
Listen, I am, I'm not a usual horrible actress.
Yeah. No. Yeah. I think the earliest we've ever had anyone, which is saying
It was
something.
only like 3 minutes early, by the way.
That's what I'm saying.
That's what we're
I'm
saying.
saying that's what we're saying.
That's
That's our
We
bar.
usually have to clear out the day. And we say, I hope we release the episode this
I think
week.
it was like, I literally, because I hung
Yeah.
up the phone with my friend, I hung up the phone with my boyfriend, and I literally was like, I think it's like
Yeah. No.
10:57.
It's just our bar is so low, you know.
Yeah, I get it. People are very lax
Yeah.
with other people's time.
Well, we knew you bring it to the things that you do. You're not the kind of person that shows up to a table and goes, "Hey, you do it. You give it your all
Yeah.
for things."
Yeah.
And I knew
Yes.
I knew
You're
that from
supposed
Love
to-
It or Leave It. I knew we literally shared the stage together.
We did. We shared the
improvised.
stage.
We had a good time.
You know, wait, by the way, we didn't even fucking talk about that. That like thing went so viral and I like using the word going viral is so embarrassing.
I
I'm
understand.
so
I know, but
embarrassed right
yeah.
now that I just said that. However,
It resonated so deeply with a lot of people.
people went, well, Oprah. That's Oprah.
Oprah?
fucking reached out.
What did she say?
Yes. This
That's
is how
viral. You can
wait,
say whatever the fuck you want.
Yes. This is how Oprah reached out to me for the first time ever, who is like, Oprah is like, I'm like a child who grew up, like Oprah took care of me after school from 3 to 4. And like, while I ate my like microwave nachos and watched her, and I love her so intensely. And she reached out and then asked me to be a part of this like special about like weight loss and the changing views on these, with the drugs and all this stuff, because she like had seen the thing that she had seen it.
Wow.
Love It or Leave It's going to use that when they reach out to guests for the next 5 years.
Like, listen.
We've had guests.
We've
get
had
on
guests
Oprah
contacted
from
by
this.
Oprah.
Oprah saw it and reached out. So
If when you're talking to Oprah, if she's open to podcasts. Let's go into our final segment.
You better count your blessings.
It's okay. We're okay. We got 10
No,
minutes.
that's not what I'm saying.
Oh, what?
You know what time it is.
Oh, it's 12:30.
it's time for the call.
Yeah.
You do your blessings.
You gotta
We'll
do
do
You
real
do your
quick.
blessings. Let me see what
You got to see what's
what this
happening.
kind
You
of
got to
vibe
see what's
is.
Okay,
happening.
I'll do my-
You gotta see-
my-
mute yourself though. Mute yourself.
Yes, please. Wait,
Mute.
you have to. Okay.
Okay.
Real quick, my blessing is today on the way down here. I saw a guy on the train that we had done like some bad theater production, like probably 14 years ago, but we weren't friends then. We barely knew each other, but we did this thing, and I saw both of us be like, "It's been too long. We don't have to say hi." Like, and I was like, "Oh, amazing!
What a
Thank
relief.
you." Like,
What a
it makes me wish we had been friends, maybe,
Right.
because I
We're
was
of the
like,
same
we
mindset.
both were like, it's been so long. We didn't really know each other that well. We weren't really friends. It would just be like a weird
We don't
train
have to.
subway thing. We don't have to.
We don't have to do
And
this.
I was so thankful. I saw in his eyes that he did it too, and we were both like, okay, great. Oh, it was nice
That
because
is
like
nice. That's a
sometimes
relief.
those things are like, what are you gonna ask? I have no idea what he's been up to. So thanks, guy.
That's a great one. Wait, what happened with the call? What's happening?
I think you sent the wrong number.
No, that's not true. I can't. Your dad is killing me. People's weird dads are maybe my king.
Yeah.
It's maybe my king. I'm not even kidding. I'm so fucking right now. I'm so into people's weird dads.
His dad has he talks really quiet. And I was like, oh, I can see why people were like drawn in. You know what I mean? He would talk.
That's a power move, man.
He would talk real.
Been forwarded to voicemail.
Going right to
The person you're
voicemail.
trying to reach is not available. At the tone,
Just be like, I'm here for the moment of silence.
Yes, weird dads are fun to talk about.
Other people's weird dads. I know.
Yeah. Sometimes people go, your dad is like quite a character. And I'm like, I feel like I've mispainted it.
We've said this a million times on the podcast, but just see one quick example of Gianmarco's dad. The first minute of meeting him, he pulled a photo off of the restaurant wall of George W. Bush eating at the restaurant and brought it over to show us.
Big Italian restaurant full of clutter, different statues, different things. He just picks up two different things and brings them over to like, look at this. You see this
Look at
over
this,
here?
George W. Bush
Put
ate
it
here.
up there.
And
That's how you know it's a
showed us.
bad Italian restaurant. If Clinton ate there, probably gets pasta.
Yeah.
George W. Bush is your endorsement for the Italian restaurant? I don't think
Absolutely
so.
not. Absolutely not.
Maybe it was like a
And it was like
barbecue.
before we had said hi, we were like, oh, yeah. It was very funny.
What's so funny is there's 20 people on this chain who he said for the moment of silence, no one's texted, which can only mean I was the only one.
You're the only one doing it while you're on a
But
podcast.
you haven't texted. You haven't said, hey, this number's not
Yeah.
working. I want you to do that right now.
what's your
I'm
blessing?
counting my blessings. Okay, well, count my blessings. I don't know. I'm grateful to I don't know. I'm like always sort of grateful. I like live in this state of eternally being like surprised that this is all just still able to happen.
Yeah.
Like life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't know. I've had like a lot of weird. It was a weird year I've had some weird year. We've had some weird years, all
We
of us
have.
collectively.
Sure.
I had a weird year. And I'm like grateful. I'm grateful that I like still can like work and that I can still work and make money and like.
It's a
do
great
this.
show too. It's
Thank you.
It is a
so
great show.
funny. It's good jokes. It's great. You know.
It's a good.
I was watching
Girls
Sis
Five
Good
Peacock.
group.
What?
I was watching Sis Peacock from the beginning.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So
Yeah, yeah,
nice.
yeah.
It's
Yeah,
so
it's
nice.
great.
Well, hopefully Netflix gives us a 4th season. We don't know
Yeah.
yet, but we'll see. Even if it ended, it was like such an amazing experience. We had the best time, and yeah, I don't know.
That's wonderful. My blessing, and we're going to talk about one of these episodes, but my good friend comedian Jay Jordan let me and Tova go to Fire Island for the first time, and we went on a Saturday. And
Does he have a house?
he rented a house.
Oh, okay.
Most people are just like kind of renting for the
Yeah.
weekend.
I was like, I didn't know Jay had.
And Fire
Money,
Island
money,
house money, yeah. And it was so lovely. It's a magical place. There's just bamboo and boardwalks, and you're just going from pool party to pool party to pool party.
That's what people say. I've never been.
Bamboo
And
boardwalks.
I mean,
I've got a couple- I have a couple friends that have-
You'd be carried through the streets.
Oh my God.
Busy for they with like they're sprinkling a special K in front of you as you like went along the way. It's surreal. You go off that ferry and there's a gym. There's an outdoor gym right when you land, just
Really?
if you want to get some like last minute pump in there.
I love it.
Yeah.
I have my own food things, but there was the breakfast place, but then they had something called the Pine Boys omelet, which was like egg whites, chicken, and spinach. And I was like,
Yes.
I'm getting and I was like, this is partly where I relate to this culture.
Yeah.
And then we went to house, and there was a leather sex swing, and we got drinks, and then we just went for a party. I got to meet Cody from Peloton. And he's the guy I always pick when I pick my Peloton. I do a lot of Peloton at hotels, and Cody was there.
Wow.
And I all I said was
Big year of fitness influencers.
I'm
for
used
you.
to shaking people's hand because I don't want to make anyone uncomfortable, but we're hugging. And then he hugged me, and then I just said very softly, I said, a big fan. And it just felt like I said the wrong thing. It just was like, oh, fan.
Yeah.
And I said, oh, okay. I'm still going to watch you, Cody.
Honestly, Cody, you should take it.
Yeah,
He should have
Cody.
some grace. You know what I
Go
mean?
have some grace, Cody. And come
Grace,
on the pod.
you should
Come on
have
the
been like,
pod.
Cody, have some grace. Also, would you like to come on my podcast?
I'd love to have him on the podcast. I love a good, when a Peloton works, it's rare, but when a Peloton works, it's a good time. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, what was that? What are you going to read? You lifted up a thing. You're going to read stuff.
We read the Pledge of Allegiance at the end of every episode.
We give a minute. For
It's a
9/11.
flawed country, but it's a good one. This is coming out October 8th. So I hope you enjoyed our debate coverage and 9/11 stories. Busy.
So timely.
Where can people find you? What do you want to plug?
I mean, dude, watch Girls Five Eva on Netflix. Tell them to give us another season. I'm on Instagram. That's the only social media I do at this point. And QVC Plus. I'm doing a talk show on QVC Plus, which is QVC is the home shopping network, but they have like an app that's free.
Yeah.
And I did this talk show for them, and it's really fun and weird, and like I don't even have to really sell anything, and it's just fun. It's just you can watch the episodes on QVC Plus. It's free.
Do they give because there's a lot of jewelry on QVC? Like, do they have a lot of cool like here wear this?
Well, so like my show is just like a talk show, like a tradition. It's not in Pennsylvania at the QVC. We did filmed it all here.
Oh, cool.
And so you can watch all the episodes on their service or whatever on their app. If you have a smart TV, you can get the QVC app and download it. But one thing that this was not contractual, but I was like, I want to wear everything I wear should be QVC.
Of course.
100%. So, the guy Matthew Hemasath, who's the wardrobe designer for Girls Five Eva, I asked him to come on to the QVC talk show and let's just do it. And so we put together all these outfits. And a couple times, some of the executives at QVC are like, "That's not from us, is it?" And I'm like, "It is 100%. Everything on my body is from QVC."
Yeah.
And they just was like, we would just style it. We would do a little zhuzh shoulder, take in the waist a little bit, roll cuff.
We were doing downside versions for Amazon, and I think it'd be funny if we had to wear their like generic fitting Amazon base and nothing fit.
One size fits all.
And it one size fits all.
I think that's a great
Amazon
idea.
stretchy. That would
Don't
be
give them
amazing.
ideas, yeah.
And they'll be like, "That's Amazon.
That's
right?
Amazon,
Yeah.
right?
You didn't stylize that at all."
Very clearly
That's
Amazon.
Amazon, yeah.
Very
That's
clear.
Amazon.
Well, anyway, so people can check that out because I think it's really funny and great. And we had really good guests. Tina Fey was on.
amazing.
And,
Amazing.
yeah. Lots of Sherry Shepherd, and Kenan Thompson.
Kim Thompson. Russell, what would you like to plug?
October. We have an Uncle Function show coming up in New York in November, but I don't have the details of it yet. And
Great.
then we'll have announced our thing by then, or no? Our tour?
No.
Okay,
We're doing a
never
West Coast
mind.
tour.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna.
It's not announced.
It's not announced.
But it'll be happening.
It'll be happening. The links will be sporadic.
Yes.
I will be in Atlanta this weekend. I'm headlining 4 nights in Atlanta. Too many nights. And then I'll be in Springfield, Missouri. Not because I don't love Atlanta. It's just that's a lot of seats. And then I'll be in Springfield, Missouri, October 17th through the 19th. And then next weekend's my anniversary. So no shows. No shows.
What are you going to do? What are you going to do? Is it a surprise?
I think it's first. There's going to be a Shabbat dinner.
Nice.
That's going to be like a bigger thing because I'm just never in town for Friday. And then Saturday, I think we decided a staycation, either Queens or deep Brooklyn, spa, just chill.
Wait,
do
have you ever
shrooms.
done that spa that's on Governor's Island?
The outdoor tents.
Yeah.
We did it twice. You're talking to the expert.
I was supposed to go with you,
You're
remember?
supposed to go.
And then Gutenberg.
You got Gutenberg. Big mistake in retrospect. No, it was really nice the first time, and then we went back the second time, and like the quality had dipped.
Plummeted.
And it was one of those where I was like, I was talking to the manager. She's like, I have to be right back, and she was running the restaurant as the server, and you were like, the budget cuts, they've ruined it.
Yeah.
That's
So I'll let you know
yeah.
if it comes back. But that first night, sleeping in a tent outdoors, that feeling of like, I'm an outdoorsy person, and
Yeah.
you're sleeping in an air-conditioned
And
tent.
New York's there. you
And
know?
New York's there. I
Yeah.
love Governor's Island.
That's cool.
Busy, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
And let's have a moment of silence just for ourselves. This is the downside.
1, 2, 3. Downside. You're listening to The Downside
The downside.
with Gianmarco Soresi.